EA Sports coverage of the NFL playoffs brings us to chilly, but of course sold-out Arrowhead Stadium in Kansas City. Today we continue on in Wild Card Weekend with a great AFC matchup between the Indianapolis Colts and the Kansas City Chiefs. The battle for the Lamar Hunt Trophy begins as we're underway in this AFC wildcard game. Fielded a couple yards into the end zone. And ultimately, he stopped right where he would have been if he had simply gone down to a knee at the 25. They'll come out with a three tight end look on the first play of the drive. He takes this for 3 to the 29.
Number 31, the ball.
Give credit to the defense for stringing that play out, and they gave up no cutback angle. You know he was trying to dart through. No place for him to go. A nice job there, only giving up a 3-yard gain.
The last run got 3. Now here's 2nd and 7. Now a handoff here to his running back.
I think that's the type of run we'll continue to see throughout this game. The snow coming down, I don't expect a lot of big plays to be broken.
A 3-yard gain on the play brings up 3rd down.
And they'll look to avoid an early 3 and out here on 3rd and 4. From the shotgun, he'll look to throw. Flushed out right. That's complete to Austin Ekeler, the running back. And he takes it all the way down to the 28-yard line. It's a big conversion on 3rd for the Colts. And even 40 yards. So now then, the big play has him all the way inside the 30 now, 1st and 10. Here's the first carry for Austin Ekeler. And this time they were ready for him as they'll stop him right at the line of scrimmage. Different story this time around. We had that huge gain followed by a sizable loss here. Second and 13. He'll get this to Ekeler. Had a nice move but can't break away. Down just inside the 30. And they're getting him involved early.
You feel like they saw something on tape, or they just have a sense with him because he's had a good week of practice or something in that area that they want him involved. Just as you said, they want him to touch it either in the running game or the passing game, but they must like the matchups they're getting.
Going to throw deep for the end zone. And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked off by Marlon Humphrey. And the return goes up to his own 17-yard line. And certainly, look, you're on the road in the playoffs. That is a suboptimal start, opening drive INT.
And, partner, sometimes I wonder, do these teams talk about it to such an extent that maybe you almost talk yourself into the turnover when you're trying to avoid it?
Yeah, maybe they get a little too worried about keeping the football, and then you give it to the other team right off the bat. And, look, we said it, on the road, this is just a terrible, terrible start for them.
It is, and now they've got to rely on their defense. Certainly a nice job there by the defense rallying to the football and getting him on the ground, but I think the play gets made by the defensive front because if they can't get upfield, their job is to go ahead and get low, almost get into a ball sometimes, stack things up, and make it difficult for the runner to find a hole.
And he's going to get 7 out of this before being taken down at the 27.
7-yard line. Brings up 3rd down.
And he'll give it here to his running back. And he picks picks up the first before he's taken down at the 29. Well, after an interception, last thing you want to do is go 3 and out, give the ball right back. They avoided that.
Yeah, you definitely do not want to do that. I remember in college I played with a really big-time player on defense. We ended up getting an interception as we passed the offense coming out. He told him, if you don't take care of this football, you have to answer to me later. You definitely want to take care of it and pick up first downs.
And he'll slip his way up across the 30 to the 32.
Brandon, all things considered, they have to feel pretty good about getting that type of a gain, considering the blitz that they just had against them.
3 yards on that last carry. Here's 2nd and 7. He lets it fly for Lockett. And that's caught inside the 30. And they'll get this to the 30-yard line before crossing over out of bounds. An explosive 38-yard pickup.
1st and 10 at the 30.
Less than a minute to go here in a scoreless first quarter to this point. Going to give this time to the tailback. And he'll take this inside the 30 to about the 29, maybe the 28-yard line. Yannick Ngakoue in on the stop. Now they try the right side here.
Oh, that's a real nice job there by the defensive front. They just engaged and held their ground. But how about the guy who made the play? We often talk about whether they take a good first step or not. Many times you just don't take any step. Just get your feet moving, get your body going, and then once he made the read, he was able to make the play.
Into double coverage, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Marcus Williams. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back.
1st and 10.
The Colts come to the line ready to start their next drive. Well, they were intercepted the first time they had the football, but now they get it back, and it's still 0-0.
And because of that, you know what the thought process is? Interception? What interception? It didn't really happen because they gave up no points. So go back on the attack. Go back and run the offense you believe will be successful. Find your playmakers and give them the football.
Open man completes it to Smith-Schuster. And he'll be out right at the 35. That one good for 26 and a first down.
1st down, Colts.
From the shotgun now, here's an inside give. And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. Back-to-back nice plays, 12 yards that time and a first down. He's obviously a bit of a shorter running back. Sometimes when he goes up the middle like that, he gets lost in there and then he pops out for 10, 20 yards.
I actually asked NFL linebackers if that was true. Do you actually lose sight of some of the smaller running backs? And all of them confirmed that that can be a problem. Think of it this way. 2 of the top running backs in NFL history, Emmitt Smith, Barry Sanders, both 5'10".
So after the incompletion on first, now 2nd and 10. From the shotgun now, here's an inside give. And he'll take it across the 50 and into Chief territory. 4 yards the gain, and it'll bring up a 3rd down.
Typically, we think it's the strong safeties that are better tacklers, especially closer to the line of scrimmage amidst traffic. But in this case, how about the free safety coming up and making the big-time play?
On 3rd down, he'll drop to throw. And he's taken down. A Chiefs sack. Takk McKinley able to get him down for a loss of 11. And it brings up 4th down.
4th down.
This is away and a very good kick. Angled for the sidelines. And it's out of bounds. Now we'll see what the side judge says.
At their own,
he says out at the 8-yard line.
Let's go old school there. That's absolutely a great coffin corner punt. Someone's put some time in working on that, hasn't it?
Seems like every year these guys get better and better. It's amazing how they can command that football through the air.
Yeah, they used to actually practice with hula hoops where they place them and try and put them there. Now a lot of guys use barrels on the sidelines to try and put the football in one.
And he's free going down the left side. It's a foot race. And he'll be taken down, but first he gets deep into Indianapolis territory.
At the 15-yard line.
A real field flipper there as all of a sudden they've got a first down in the red zone. Now a handoff here to his running back. And he'll fight his way down right around the 12. They had the huge play last time. Here it is a much smaller gain of 2.
It's 2nd and 8.
Here's 2nd and 8. And that is caught for the touchdown, Kansas City. Travis Kelce there to make the grab as his guys are first onto the scoreboard here this afternoon. And he's such a talented tight end, just creates nightmarish-type matchups on the other side.
He's so good that when we say tight end, we're almost damning him with faint praise, aren't we? Because he can do it all. He's as good as any receiver in the NFL.
Well, that's the deal. He's a wide receiver, just in a bigger body.
Bigger body, a matchup nightmare, and who's going to cover him? When I sit in the film session, I just look at the coach and say, really? Really? You going to yell at me? You go cover him.
The Colts come to the line ready to start their next drive. It hasn't gone particularly well for them. That's obvious. In these conditions, no points so far. They've got to get that offense on track. The question, how do they do it?
It is the age-old question, isn't it? And to me, finding a way to make sure your playmakers touch the ball without it being too exotic. Meaning you don't have to go deep down the field. Maybe you hit them on those short passes on the perimeter. Make sure you just turn around and hand it to your best runner and get out of the way. Don't cause any extra stress on your offense.
Here's a throw that's taken in out of the backfield. And they'll take him down at the 31-yard line. 9 yards to pick up there, and it's a first down. 2 minutes to play here in this first half of the NFL playoffs. Coming up at the half, we remind you that we're going to do what we've done all year. We'll get you down to Jonathan Coachman in Orlando. Coach will have the lowdown of what's going on here in this wild card weekend as we begin the road to the upcoming Super Bowl. And he'll toss this one incomplete. Seeing no options, he throws it away.
This defense has been very disruptive early on as they force another one to go awry.
Seems to be the front and the back end. Pass rush, they've been able to get home, and they're taking the ball away in coverage as well.
I love how you put it together.
And he's going to be brought down here in the backfield.
We said it before the game, and I think it's still apparent. If these guys are going to advance in these playoffs, they're going to have to wreak some havoc coming off the edge.
Yeah, wild card round. They told us the wild card could be that defensive pressure. They showed it there. Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. This is intercepted. It's the former Seahawk, Earl Thomas. And his guys are going to get the football at the 23-yard line.
Partner, we've heard it once, we've heard it 1,000 times. Don't throw late down the middle.
And he did. We see the end result.
Yeah, what you have to do is you've got to make sure you manipulate those defenders with your eyes and your head, maybe even some body movement to move them a little if you're going to come back late down the middle.
Throwing to start the drive, but that one incomplete.
I think we can all understand what they're thinking right now. They take over the ball in field goal range after the turnover, so they've got that in their hip pocket. But they've got to go for the end zone and turn this into bigger points. Their thinking is a touchdown is really what they should get from starting here. Getting 3 points at the end of this drive, that would feel disappointing.
And once again, this Colts defense stops him behind the line of scrimmage. The Colts going to use the first of their timeouts as they'll stop it with a tick under a minute to go before half. The chance of wasting this great starting field position, a real threat. This is 3rd and long. Being chased out left. The Colts D sticking to their assignments, and that brings up 4th.
They certainly had good starting field position on that drive, but couldn't do anything with it after 3 plays. Have to admit that that's a disappointing end to excellent field position. When that drive started, they had 6 points that they were thinking about.
The bottom line, tremendous starting field position, really squandered there as they wind up going backwards and then come up with just 3.
Well, getting the 3 turned out to be important. I can imagine the head coach when he ordered the field goal. Please salvage something out of this drive. That was not fun to watch.
And only able to get this to the 19, so probably should have opted for the touchback.
Their own 19-yard line.
The Colts come to the line ready to start their next drive. Well, look at the clock here. You're inside of a minute. First half hasn't gone that well for you. How are you going to play this drive?
Well, I've been told by my coaches previously that the intelligent approach, go ahead and run out the clock and start over. Don't make any more mistakes. But there's also something to understanding that you got this last drive here. You get the ball to start the second half. Try and go 2 for 1 here. Get some points now and come out of the locker room and get more points again and get your momentum really built up.
So a little extra on top of the big play there.
It's tough for guys rushing the passer, but you have to know when the ball is gone. And if you listen, officials will tell you ball's gone. He didn't pull up.
So now a fresh set of downs, 1st and 10 after roughing the passer. Now they'll throw here out of the gun. That's into the hands of Eckler. Now the Colts going to burn the second of their timeouts as they stop it with 16 seconds to go in half number 1.
2nd and 7 at the 24-yard line.
They'll break the huddle and come out with 4 receivers, 3 of them to the right side, 2nd and 7. Complete with 11 seconds remaining now.
And incomplete. It's 3rd down and 7 yards to go.
They head to the line facing a 3rd and 7 following the incompletion on 2nd down. Now a shotgun snap as they'll look to throw. The Kansas City defense tough to throw on there, and now it's 4th down.
Christian Kirk, incomplete. Brings up 4th down.
On now is the kicker Jason Myers for the field goal try. From the left hash, this will be a 41-yarder. And Myers able to knock it through, and they get themselves on the board here. It's 10-3. So, yes, they'll still be down going into intermission, but the deficit is now made even smaller, very manageable.
Yeah, and if nothing haywire happens here in his last couple of precious seconds, they will go into the locker room with a nice bounce in their step, having gotten a little bit closer on the scoreboard.
So with 3 seconds remaining in the half, they will line up to kick this one away. And this carries into the end zone. So we're in halftime in this AFC wild card matchup. As we'll head down to Orlando, that's where we find our man Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach. Both teams trying to avoid being one and done in these playoffs as we start the second half of this AFC wild card game. Now this will make it into the end zone. And he'll be brought down shy of the 20, so the decision to bring it out of the end zone, not a good one. The KC offense out of the huddle, ready for their next drive. Their defense has done the job. Now it's the offense's turn as they've got it 1st and 10. They'll start the 3rd quarter here on the ground. And not a whole lot to speak of there as they'll bring him down shy of the 20. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9.
2nd and 9.
And he'll give it here to his running back. And he is met at the line of scrimmage, and he goes down right there.
Taken down.
No gain on the play there, so that doesn't help. Now they're looking up at a 3rd and 9 situation. Out of the gun, they'll look to throw. Oh, incomplete. Nearly the pick they needed. They would have loved one there, but at least it does get them to 4th down. So good work there on the defensive side for the first drive of the second half.
Yeah, and until their offense can get into rhythm, their defensive players and staff have got to say to themselves, we've got to make it work.
Now a hit and a loose football. And it's picked up by the Chiefs. There he goes right side. And he has brought this one back. A fumble recovery for foot, Chiefs touchdown. Always important to get the first score of the second half. Now you start to pull away a little bit and get some breathing room going.
And now we find out about the fortitude of the group that's behind, because they were counting on getting into the game a little bit more, right? Maybe they get the first score. That doesn't happen. It looks almost insurmountable, but it's not. Let's see how hard they play the rest of the game.
And you can bet they're preaching two hands on the ball here as the kick's away following that fumble return. And a fair catch signaled for and taken successfully.
The Colts take over 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line.
The Colts come to the line ready to start their next drive. And, Charles, they trail by a couple of scores, but if they could put a good drive together here, it'd go a long way toward getting them back in this football game.
And if you're looking at a checklist of things that they need to do in the second half, job number one was getting a stop, wasn't it? So, big check right there. Now they want to see if their offense can build on that momentum.
And he'll take this to the other side of midfield before going out of bounds. A gain there of 30 big ones.
Outside handoff to the right side. If you're a running back, you love getting the ball early so you have vision to see what's happening in front of you.
Right tackle likes that call. Big play for him, but don't forget about the guys you always tell me on the backside sealing off.
When they talk about cutoff blocks, making sure no one can leak from the backside that can run a play down.
And nobody leaked. Big play. Third quarter, wild card round. Thanks for being along for the playoff ride with us. Here's 2nd and 10. He's going to fire one deep left sideline. And that'll be incomplete. The flag was down, so they took a shot, thinking it's on the defense. Let's see. Here's a 2nd and 5 now after the offsides penalty. They'll set up a throw. And he's going to be intercepted a third time. Picked off near the 44. And his guys will take over at their own 44-yard line.
At their own 44-yard line.
Good starting field position for them here as they come up 1st and 10 at their own 44. And they give this time to the tailback. And no room that time, getting it to about the 46. Just a yard on the first down carry, so it's 2nd and 9.
Brings up 2nd and 9 at the 46-yard line.
Back to throw. He's going to air it out deep for Woods. And all the way in for a Kansas City touchdown. Robert Woods, 54 yards. And the Chiefs are able to extend their lead. But look, this is a team trouble. Oh, they flip it to the kicker. He looks like he's going to throw it to the goal line, but it's incomplete.
Partner, that type of a lead, and they're going to fake it from the 15 to try and pick up a 2-point play instead of kicking it through the post. Come on, man. Put that in mothballs. Come on. Come on. Don't do that.
Put that in mothballs?
Yeah, preserve that for it. That's an ancient relic. Faking it. I can understand you want to rub it in a little. You fake it when you snapped it from the 3. But from the 15, mothball that bad boy, just like my grandmother had.
Yeah,
in her attic, the stuff she used to preserve.
It smelled terrible. Now a handoff here to his running back. And not much there. Maybe a yard up to the 24.
Yeah, things were pretty stacked up there in the middle of the line. A lot of bodies, not much space. I think ultimately he was fortunate to get anything out of that run.
On 2nd down, they'll try and run the counter. Takes it to the 26, just a 1-yard gain.
Ball carrier.
Not the start to the drive they were hoping for. That run doesn't get them much at all.
No, not at all. And that leaves them with 3rd and long, which means you got to dial up something pretty good. Think your best player with a play that he likes to run best.
A 3rd down now. Those last 2 plays indicative of how things have gone for them. Just nowhere to go on the ground and struggling to put up points. Now back to throw. Eluding the pressure right. And he's caught on the sideline, but he's not going to have a first down. They say he was out of bounds. So a big call there that brings up 4th. The Colts send out their punter as he'll punt it away for the 2nd time. He'll send this one into the Midwestern air, and it's a good one. very good return that time. 18 yards. And it's Chiefs football. 1st and 10. The Chiefs offense about set to begin this drive. And now you've got the clock winding down here in the 3rd quarter. You're 3 scores to the good. What's your approach on this drive?
Too early to fully commit to playing the clock game. Yet at the same...
Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Justin Coleman. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. They needed a break. They needed to make a play here in the 3rd quarter defensively. They did that. Now they got to go quickly and get some points on the board.
And the best part is that they made their own break. Taking the ball away. Now they just look at their offense and saying, guys,
let's go.
Come on, capitalize on this one.
2 yards on the carry there. It'll be 2nd down.
A gain of 2. Brings up 2nd and 8.
Looking to throw. And he'll lose yardage here. Back to the 15. They lost 4 there, and it's 3rd down. Boy, how good has this defense been seemingly all game long?
I really think right from the first snap, I think you're really onto something there. In this passing game, it just can't get off the ground. In that play, it wound up losing yardage.
This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down. And that will be incomplete. He's had trouble finding open receivers all game, CD, and that's because really there hasn't been many. This defense has been all over them.
Yeah, they're one of the better defenses in the league, and every time I talk to someone around the NFL, they all say the exact same thing. They're so fundamentally sound, it's hard to execute against them.
This is fielded at the 27. That's going to go in the books as a 55-yard punt. Well done. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs.
34-yard line.
KC offense out of the huddle, ready for their next drive. And last time, 1-play interception. So this offense, they should be fresh.
That's a good way of putting it. And I can't wait to see what they decide to do with play calling. Because a 1-play drive where you throw an interception, a lot of people think the very next time out, run the football, don't give them a chance.
Maybe play action?
I think maybe you go play action, show your quarterback, get a little confidence in him, and let him bring another one.
And unable to get downhill there as he'll take this up to about the 37. They follow up the first down 1-yard run with a minimal gain of 2.
Brandon, I've got to think this offensive line has got some smiles on its faces. And I know it sounds crazy, but they practiced for this back in training camp. They knew they'd be in situations where it'd be extra defenders in the box coming after them, trying to keep them from locking down a game. Right now, they want to show the world they're up to the challenge.
Flush to his right. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. Offensively lucky they're able to keep the football, but now 4th down, so they'll have to boot it away.
I do think, though, they're going to look at this as a positive. 1, they recovered the fumble, so they retained possession. But 2, being able to punt it changes field position for them. Imagine if that turnover takes place there. Now your defense.
Now a hit and a loose football. And it's picked up by the Chiefs.
I remember sitting in special teams meetings, and at some point during the meeting, the coach would always say, you better treat this one just like you're playing offense or defense. It's a big part of the game. And we just saw evidence of why right there with that fumble.
Yeah, fumble on the punt, and after it was turning up to be a pretty decent return.
Yeah, a really nice return. They were going to be set up okay, and the offense would feel good running onto the field.
And the Chiefs are going to get him. Tack McKinley able to get in there for his 2nd sack of the afternoon. If you want a lesson on how to defeat an offensive tackle, that was pretty textbook.
Is that a clip and save?
Yes.
That's what's going to go around the league, and people are going to watch that and say, my goodness, that's how you do it. And I feel awful for the offensive tackle because we always talk about the athleticism of that guy who just beat him. Well, you have to be athletic to try and block that guy. Just in this case, the defense won.
3rd down.
The Colts on 3rd down. It's been a problem. Just 1 for 7 thus far. This is 3rd down and 12. Play-action fake. They'll look to throw. Open man, Smith-Schuster. It's complete. And he is going to have a Colts 1st down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion. Give them 22 there on the third down conversion. So now 1st and 10 in Chiefs territory at the 38. They'll look to throw. And he couldn't hang on. Would have been their 4th pick of the game. Instead, 2nd down.
We've seen that the deep ball's been a part of their game plan all afternoon, but they've had trouble hooking up on it, unable to successfully find the end zone over the top.
Now he's going to swing this one out to his running back. And this one's going to go the wrong way, losing yardage back at the 42. That'll wind up going for a loss of 4. And that'll force upon him a 3rd and 14. Again, he'll drop to throw. Yeah, and his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. Picked off by Ronald Darby. And he's just across midfield and down at the 49-yard line. He got out of the pocket there, was wondering what he was going to do with it, but I think he was calling, his receiver was calling for the ball, wasn't he?
He certainly was. The problem, he called for it too late, and when he delivered, they were all over him in the secondary and came up with the interception.
Past the 20, and all the way in for a Kansas City touchdown. A big play there, 49 yards. And thanks to the interception, the Chiefs offense cashes in with 6. And that stretches the lead to 27.
Makes the score Chiefs 30, Colts 3.
Now after the touchdown, ready to boot it away, Riley Dixon. Taking it about the 1. And a good effort on the return there. Gets him across the 30, up to the 33. And we are inside of 2 minutes left in this lopsided affair. So the Colts in possession of the football as we get you reset. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. And he'll get this one up to about the 39 here. It's a 6-yard gain on the ground, and that'll make it 2nd and 4. And he'll give it here to his running back. And he'll be out of bounds up near the 45 at the 44. A gain of 5, good enough for the 1st down.
So many teams want to throw the ball in this situation nowadays, but I love watching a team that has enough confidence to go ahead and run the football in that situation. That's almost a tendency breaker.
Now on 1st down, he'll drop to throw it. And my goodness, another interception. Eddie Jackson picks it. And you have to wonder, Charles, a game like this, 5 interceptions, what does this do to the psyche of a young quarterback?
Well, based on the fact that he's still out there and he threw a 5th interception, I'm wondering if his head coach believes that he's really strong mentally and wants him to play through it. Because otherwise, you need to get him out and fight another day, because this could leave lasting damage if he keeps throwing interceptions.
A loss of a yard there to start out. That leads to a 2nd and 11. They'll try and run some clock here as they keep it on the ground. And he'll get this one up to about the 39 here. 8 yards on the run there, and that leaves him with 3rd and just a couple.
Brings up 3rd and 2.
They'll drop to throw. And that is incomplete.
That's an excellent job right there on 3rd down. Like any defense, you never want to let them get anything started, and that would have been a 1st down. Instead, you saw the contact on time, no penalty, and before this drive could get wings, it's 4th down.
And with things looking pretty good on the scoreboard, they're going to keep the offense out there and go for it here on 4th. Got a man, it's Judy, complete. And taking it across midfield and just shy of the 40. 4th down, no problem. 19 yards that time, but now it's 1st and 10. Going to give this time to the tailback. And Give him 4 yards there. It'll be 2nd and 6.
He's brought down at the
From the 37, they work on 2nd and 6. And I know it's hard to find solace on one side when the season ends, no matter where it ends, but especially in the playoffs, because there's all that build up to the moment. But I would imagine the post-game locker room speech, it'll have a pretty positive spin.
It should. They've made a heck of a run to get to the playoffs and have that chance to advance, even though they didn't. But you're right about how much it's going to hurt, because when you work that hard to get this far, it hurts just a little bit more. No matter when your season ends, it's a downer. But in this case, even more so because you had your eyes on the big prize, which was the Lombardi Trophy.
So that'll just about do it for Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL on EA Sports. For more, log on to easports.com.